I'm your host, Mike St. Clair, and you're watching Ask Mike, the new YouTube series that allows you, the viewer, to submit questions about the paranormal to be answered in an upcoming video. We've got a lot of great questions today. We've been getting a great response from the Ask Mike series. We're going to try to answer as many of those questions as we can, and we're going to try to get to them as quick as possible. So if you have a question you would like to ask Mike, please send me a message titled Ask Mike, and then leave your question, and you should see your question answered in an upcoming video. Our first question comes from Jake at the Paranormal Observation and Research Network, aka the Porn Network. The Porn Network. Jake asks, Mike, I was wondering about full spectrum lighting. The physical full spectrum lights, are they compiled of just IR, UV, and bright white lights? Thanks in advance. Well, in most cases, full spectrum lighting is exactly what you stated. It's ultraviolet light mixed with visible white light mixed with infrared light. But a lot of you may not know this, but you can actually take a ordinary white visible light and use it by itself for full spectrum photography, because visible white light not only puts out visible light, but it also puts out ultraviolet and infrared, so you don't even need all those lights to use full spectrum photography. But yes, in most cases, the full spectrum lights are infrared, UV, and visible lighting. Our second question comes to us from Baxter Pennyworth. Hi there, Mike. I have a question I'd like to ask. What was it that got you interested in ghost hunting? Well, if you ask most paranormal investigators, they're going to tell you one of two things. Either they were interested when they were a child, or they had experiences earlier in life that led them to want to understand what was actually going on with those experiences. When I was in 6th grade, our school offered a class called Mysteries of the Unknown. And in that class, we talked a little bit about UFOs, the Bermuda Triangle, Stonehenge, and ghosts as well. So that got me interested at a young age. Shows like Unsolved Mysteries were big impact on my decision to be a paranormal investigator. In the 90s, a show came out called MTV's Fear, and they went to haunted locations and sent people in who were scared out of their minds. And that was a great show, and I wanted to do it, but I was really scared, so I didn't know as much as I know now about the paranormal. So, you know, people are scared of, you know, what they don't understand, and that was my case. But I like to tell ghost stories with my friends when I was younger as well. In 2003, I went on my first investigation. We were trying to investigate 2 local legends. We went to a cemetery, and we went to a bridge where supposed suicides had happened. We took a infrared Sony night shot camera. We had no idea what we were doing. We shot some video, asked some questions. We didn't catch anything, but that was my first paranormal investigation back in 2003. In 2008, the TV shows were really popular on Sci-Fi Network and the Travel Channel, and I really liked those at the time, not so much now, but those are what really set me over the edge, and that's what really got me involved in the paranormal and wanting to be a paranormal researcher. Our third question comes from TiffyTube. Hello, Mike. I was wondering your opinion on this. Do you think that after so many years of people investigating the same place, the spirits of that place will get tired of people going in and out all the time, making them angry, causing them to throw things or move a chair just to startle someone into leaving? I've wondered this for many years, and that's the question that got me into the paranormal. I figured the best way to find out the answer to the question will be to simply ask them, as they are just people without bodies, right? I would love to know your take on this. Thanks. Well, that's a great question, and I really don't know the answer. If it were me and I was the ghost and I didn't want people invading my privacy, I would probably get upset, and I would probably try to do something to scare them away. But the only way that we're really going to learn is to go to these places multiple times and to ask questions. When we're on investigations, we actually like to ask the question, do you get tired of people coming in here and asking you questions, just like you've asked me in this question? So far, we haven't got a response yet, but we continue to do that because we don't want to be upsetting them. And if what we're doing is upsetting them, then obviously we need to take a different take on things and maybe go about things a different way. So hope that answered your question. And again, that was another great question. Our next question comes from Third Shift Paranormal. Hey, Mike, I love your work. I love the work you do. Keep it up. Now, I'm not sure if you've touched on this before in other videos, but can you please suggest a good free video editing software? Well, that all depends on what you want to do. If you just want to do basic editing, basic cuts and dissolves, and maybe some titles, I would recommend Windows Movie Maker. There's one for the a 32-bit Windows edition and the Windows 7 64-bit as well, which is called Windows Live Movie Maker. It's a little bit different, but it allows you to do the basic things that you need to do to create a video, to maybe share some evidence or maybe talk a little bit about your team. So I would definitely go with the Windows Movie Maker. It's not really advanced, so you can't do a whole lot of things. You can't layer video or anything like that, but if all you need is basic stuff, then Windows Movie Maker is the way to go. There's also one called Virtual Dub. I'm not familiar with that, but if you do some research, I'm sure you can find some good information on that. And that is also a free video editor. Not to mention, I believe YouTube has one of its own, so if you're uploading videos to YouTube, YouTube has a video editor that you can use as well. Our last question comes via email from Robert Seacrest. Hello, Mike. I was wondering how to get involved with the paranormal group. Do I have to have a degree in something, or can I just go on an investigation and help out in any way that I can? It's been a dream of mine to be a part of this field of study for a long time. Thank you for taking the time to answer my questions. Well, you don't need a degree to do paranormal investigation. You don't need a certification. There's no such thing as a ghost hunting certification. All you need is the want to go out and investigate and find the truth. I'm sure if you check, there are probably already paranormal investigation teams in your area. You could start by giving them a call, telling them who you are, and telling them about your interest, and it's a good possibility they may give you a shot. If that doesn't work, you may need to start your own team, and you only need a couple people to do that. This is what I would recommend doing. Finding a friend that you trust and getting them involved with your investigation endeavors as well. You can investigate lots of places. You can investigate cemeteries, but be aware of your local laws before you go investigating cemeteries. You don't want to be in them at night and get in trouble, because in Virginia it is a misdemeanor to do that, punishable up to a $250 fine for trespassing, so you want to be careful about that. But get yourself a digital voice recorder or analog voice recorder and just go to these places and turn it on and ask questions. That's the way I got started. I started with my own equipment, investigating cemeteries. I investigated my own house, investigated friends' houses, and before you knew it, I had lots of calls, and I'm not in need of investigations because there's plenty of them. We have plenty of places to go. It does take a while. Don't expect to jump out there and put an ad and say, hey, I have a paranormal investigation group. People are probably not going to call you right away. You need to develop some sort of a reputation. But watching my videos is a good way to get started. You're going to learn a lot of things from these videos. Talk to other paranormal investigators, because they may have some pointers and tips for you as well. And I hope I was able to answer your question, Robert. Well, guys, if you have a question about the paranormal that you want to ask Mike, just send me a private message, title it Ask Mike, and then ask your question. I want to thank you for watching our videos. Make sure to comment, thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more Ask Mike and Ghost Hunting 101.